Illusion Dispeller. And I am here to talk about triggered and triggering and triggers and all things regarding triggering. Because I've been hearing this word flying around a lot lately. People saying, oh, I'm triggered, or people saying, oh, you can't possibly be triggered by everything, and people just use triggering too much. No, I don't think they do use triggering too much. I think it's very easy to get triggered on YouTube. There are a lot of very domineering and controlling individuals on here, and a lot of people that, well, frankly, have some mental issues, and it's easy to get triggered. So let's talk about what triggering is. What does it look like? What triggers you? How does this all work? Let's talk about it.
I don't think they do use triggering too much.
Let's keep me quiet here on that channel. All right, I'm going to be playing a video, and of course it's a commentary, so I will be interjecting my thoughts and my opinions in between. You can take them or leave them. It's fine with me. And of course we'll have a Q&A and discussion and whatever time afterwards. We can ask each other questions. It doesn't matter to me, however you want to do it. But let's talk about triggering openly and honestly. Let's do it in an open forum and give everybody a chance to have an opinion. Here we go. By the way, this is a new channel that I just found today. Patrick Tehan. He is a licensed clinical social worker. So he's talking about triggers. And I'm going to be commentating, I don't know how you say it, on his video. Here we go. Nice music. Hey, One Love. Yay, notifications worked. Hi, Martha. Hi, Hill. Hey, Morgan.
So
hi,
while
everybody.
there are many definitions of the word out there, this video is going to focus on the question, what does it mean to be triggered? And we're going to be looking at triggers from the perspective of childhood trauma and abuse, as well as the dysfunctional family. We're also going to be looking at from the perspective of our past versus our present. And a quick definition of a trigger is a reaction in the present that can be directly related to a past experience, in this case, childhood.
Okay, so let's talk about this real quick. A trigger is a reaction in the present. So how you react in the present. Do you get angry? Do you cry? Do you disappear? Do you lash out? Do you cuss? Do you stomp your feet or pound your fists? A reaction in the present that can be directly related to past experience in childhood. Everybody in here had a childhood? Have you had past experiences in your childhood? I have. I'm raising my hand. Anybody else had a childhood in here? Did you grow up from the time you were a child on to an adult? I'm pretty sure this applies to everybody in here, on YouTube, on social media, and basically all over the world. We've all had childhoods. We've all had past experiences. So any one of us can be triggered. So don't tell me, oh, it's overused. No, it's not overused. It's legit. People are very triggered on here and have every right to say, hey, I'm triggered. Hey, that upset me. Hey, stop doing that. And then people get all mad when you speak up for yourself and say, I don't appreciate that, or I need this from you, or please help me in this way. Then they get all offended. It's wrong. We all have a right to a voice. That is what my channel is founded on. So here we go. Let's continue.
Think of it like an over-the-top reaction to something in the present.
Oh, none of us on YouTube have ever reacted over the top, have we? Nobody does that on YouTube.
So when we grow up in the dysfunctional family and abuse, our triggers are our body's memories of that childhood stress.
Anybody have stress in your childhood? I did.
And as we grow up into young adulthood, that stress gets imprinted during our emotional development, and we carry that into adulthood.
Amazing. So our stress from childhood doesn't just disappear. It comes with us into adulthood.
That's hard, but there's some good news. If we work on our triggers, we can be happier. We can be more empowered. We can be balanced and focused. And most importantly, we can spend less time being upset.
Not to mention, if you're somebody that's constantly triggered and you haven't dealt with your stuff, you're not going to have a lot of people that cozy up to you. It's very hard to be around someone that's constantly reacting to triggers. So keep that in mind as you watch this.
Trauma survivors lose a lot of time to their triggers.
And a
If
lot of
that
friends.
sounds worthwhile, here's the how-to. Number one, know what your triggers are. Spend some time journaling, perhaps creating a top 10 list of things that really upset you, perhaps feelings of being left out, and figure out what the triggers are.
I'm always saying journal, journal, journal. And if you didn't hear me that time, journal. Write a diary, write a journal. It's important. Write down your feelings.
Number two is know where they come from in childhood. This may take some exploring in therapy. There's great literature resources on childhood stuff that are really helpful in figuring out. As a side note, many trauma survivors do not have memories of their childhoods, but your triggers are your body's memories, and there's clues there. So that
I got to be honest with y'all, all of you. I do not understand how anybody can be on YouTube and not be in therapy or talking to someone outside of YouTube about your feelings when you're on here, about how you're treated on here, about people's reactions to you when you're on here, especially if you're a YouTube creator. I do not understand how you can become a creator and maintain your sanity on here without talking to a significant other or a therapist. I just don't. I highly recommend talking to a therapist or a significant other person if you're going to be a creator on this place. Because if you don't, you're going to be really unstable. I'm just saying. Unless you have like some superhuman strength to handle all the many personalities you encounter when you have a chat room, I don't see how you do it.
That's helpful. Number three is to practice the separation between your past versus your present.
Oh, this is so important. So important. I can't tell you how many people react to me as like who they were in the past, like that little child reacting to me like I'm their bad mom that they don't like. It happens to me all the time, on here, everywhere, where you can just almost see the little kid within somebody lashing out at you because you asked them a question that maybe their abusive mom asked them years ago, because they haven't dealt with their stuff. So then they're putting it on you. And then they get mad at you when you react and you say, look, you're not going to do this to me. I'm not the person who ever hurt you. I'm not them. Don't scapegoat me like that. And they get mad at you for that.
And that's an active thinking about how is the present different from the past. It tends to work very well if we feel the charge from the childhood upset. When we feel the childhood upset, it puts the present totally into perspective.
That's interesting because I think that's kind of what EMDR operates on the principle of. It gets you to actually feel those emotions from your past, from your childhood, and bring it into the present and realize you're in the now. You're not back there. Whatever was triggering you and upsetting you back then, that was then. You're in present time now. EMDR is excellent at that.
Let's take a hypothetical. This is Kate. Kate is a trauma survivor. Kate works in an office building and she gets an email from her boss, Jill, that reads, "Where is your project on the share drive? I don't see it." And Jill signs it with the dreaded and impersonal, "Please advise." So let's say that Kate is pretty triggered by this. Let's see what her reaction is. Well, at first she anxiously checks the share drive 4 times, despite knowing where she put it and despite knowing it was completed. Kate then sends Jill an overly apologetic and over-explained email about where her project is.
Okay, stop right there. That is me. Somebody confronts me on something or questions me, I automatically hit freak out mode. I start trying to figure out how to defend myself. I start trying to be sorry. I do the same thing that this poor lady Jill did. That is exactly my reaction. I get very, very triggered when someone questions what I did, my decision, how I did something. I hate it. Actually, frankly, I just hate it. It doesn't just trigger me. It ticks me off, downright ticks me off, and makes me start trying to just get them off my case.
Kate then spends the rest of the day checking for a return email from Jill. But
Oh,
doesn't get one.
yes.
And then she goes home obsessing about the email and can't sleep.
So 2 things I do also, and maybe you do too. So first you try to defend yourself. Then you start making sure they're not right about what they said about you. So you got to go back and figure out, did I say that? Did I do that? And then you can't sleep at night because you're like, oh my gosh, I can't stand that they think I did that. See, I won't live my life like that, but that is very often what triggers me and how my triggers work. Exactly.
She wakes up upset the following day. And you may be asking, is that what it means to be triggered? Yes, that's what I'm saying about this triggering business. Here are some signs that will help you see when you're triggered. The first is having a big body reaction. This is a charge of anger, shame, disappointment, sadness, or heat.
Right. And mine automatically is going to be anger because I very rarely, if ever, feel ashamed or any type of shame. Disappointed, I'm disappointed in other people, not usually myself. I'm pretty happy with myself. Sadness, maybe. More like disillusionment. Like, I thought you were my friend. I thought this was cool, and it's not now type of thing. But anger, definitely, like, how dare you? That's usually my first reaction. How dare you? I'm very good at the anger one. Very, very good at it. Yeah, you too, huh, Martha?
Next is dissociation. That's feeling out of your body, a little bit spacey, not grounded, shut down, perhaps stunned.
I don't know if I dissociate, but I definitely shut down. If I feel cornered by somebody, I will shut down. You won't hear me. I will not type. I will not text. I will not talk. It will be like I disappeared because I'm feeling uncomfortable by you and I'm not going to respond to you. And I might even just leave wherever I am. That's how I react.
Next is changes in language, where we're at a loss for words or we become overly intellectualized. Maybe we're swearing, our tone changes, maybe we become passive aggressive. Next is
not necessarily. Changes in language, loss of words, intellectualized, swearing tone. Oh, I swear sometimes. Not online, but I do sometimes in my life. Yes, I do. And then I get mad at myself because I hate cussing. But I don't use the F word ever. It's more like D-A, you know what, H-E, that kind of thing. I get so angry sometimes. So angry. Passive aggressive, I got to watch it because, yeah, I can be. And I don't like that in myself either. So I'd rather just stay away, not be passive aggressive.
Is forgetting good attributes. We forget good attributes of self, of others. This is usually negative.
Oh, I don't forget good attributes. I totally negate good attributes as if they never had them. I just see the bad. Bad. You're bad. It's just how I am.
Next is similar to that one, which is all or nothing thinking. This is black and white
Yeah.
thinking. This is using statements
Definitely.
such as always or never, in the belief that there is only one negative outcome. Next is use of a favorite coping strategy. Things like substance abuse, internet, sex, food. These are compulsive and excessive behaviors. Next is righteousness.
I don't think any of us use the internet, do we? For a coping strategy? Oh, and the all or nothing thinking. I have to be careful about that one. I tend to slip into that one too, but I'm doing better with it. I don't use food anymore when I'm upset, ever. I don't run to food. I know better. I'm too focused on my goals to go letting food screw everything up for me. Focused on being right. Yes, I'm a right fighter. There's no doubt about that. But I really would rather than focus on right fighting, I would rather just people leave me alone. I just go into these modes where I don't want to be bothered. I just don't want to deal with anybody or anything. Oh, good, Martha. I'm glad. I just came across this guy's video. This has nothing to do with me being upset with anybody or anything happening. Just a video that was interesting.
Overly focused on being right, making moral judgments. And the last is use of metaphor. That's where we creatively explain things and say, you're a train wreck or I'm a train wreck. So
I hate that whole it's a blank show. Oh, that was a blank show last night. I hate that phrase. I hate it. I think it's so disgusting. A train wreck. Yeah, people have said that too online. I don't like that phrase either. It's just dumb. Oh, they were a train wreck last night. No, it's weird. For me personally, no. I don't say that kind of stuff.
Let's unpack Kate's trigger. Let's see.
Okay, now I need to tell you, this is as far as I got watching this video. This stuff from here on is all new to me.
How all those signs played out. The first is Kate had a big body reaction. She became afraid, she became anxious, she had some shame going on, and that was a big weight in her body. Next, she mildly dissociated. She doubted herself. She was not focused, and she got into some tunnel vision about the event. Kate.
Okay, so when we start getting obsessive about something, we start trying to prove ourselves, we start going back and thinking, did I say that? Did I do that? That's a form of dissociation. He called it mild dissociation. I never knew that. So yes, I do that. Definitely.
Then got into some forgetting of good attributes. She forgot she's a good person. She forgot her project was completed and well done.
Yeah, I don't do that.
She also had some changes in her language.
One thing about me, I will say that's very threatening to people that do second guess themselves is that I don't. If I say something, that's how I feel at that moment, and I'm fine with that. I'm not one to go back and say, oh, well, gee, should I have said that? Or did I really mean that? No, that's not me. I don't say stuff I don't mean. And people hate that. That makes them feel so threatened because so many people I know second guess themselves, and I just don't. So they hate that I don't do that.
Remember how she became overly apologetic to Jill? Saying I'm sorry is a default for Kate, which is a function of shame.
Oh, my cousin. Oh my gosh. My cousin moved in with us for a year. She was raised by an abusive, narcissistic mother. And every other word, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Could you forgive me? I'm sorry. Oh my gosh. I was like, seriously, stop saying you're sorry. You have nothing to be sorry about. You didn't do anything wrong. We don't hate you. We're not kicking you out. You're fine. Stop saying you're sorry. It used to drive me bonkers. That was a bad mix. Me trying to take care of her when I had a problem with repetition and her constantly saying she was sorry. Ay, ay, ay. Drove me nuts. And then she married a husband that made her constantly feel like she had to be sorry.
She overly explains things. She got into some all or nothing thinking where she might have said, this is all my fault. I always screw up. I should have known better.
Anybody do that? All or nothing thinking? This is all my fault. I should have known better. I always mess up. I'm never going to make it. Blah, blah, blah. You know, that'll jeopardize everything you try to do in life, including weight loss. That'll be the fastest way to not lose weight. Just beat yourself up every time you eat a little bit of extra something. You know, I'm such a dummy. Why did I do that? I'm never going to get this weight off. You know, I'm always going to be fat. I'll always fail. No, I don't do that to myself because I wouldn't have lost the weight I did doing that. I have to believe in myself before anybody else can, you know, believe in me. Yeah, I hear you. One more. Okay.
And lastly is she had a use of a negative coping strategy. That was the compulsive checking. She was seeking an external cue for self-worth from Jill.
Yeah, I don't do it for the reason of seeking an external cue, but I definitely do it to, how would you describe what I do when I do it? If I'm trying to prove myself, because I have self-worth. It's not about trying to get the self-worth. But I will definitely get to this mode where I'm trying to make the other person realize they're wrong. That's what it is. I'm trying to make them realize you're wrong about me. And they don't usually. They decide that what they say is the way it is. So then I learn eventually, you know, you can't control what somebody thinks of you.
Let's look at Kate's trigger from a deeper perspective of past and present. Here is her past, and here is her present. In Kate's past, in her childhood, she had a critical, blaming, and shaming mother. Very reactive mother. She had an unprotective father who didn't protect her from mom. Both of Kate's parents used mood as a weapon, doing things like silent treatments.
Oh, yeah.
Kate became hypervigilant about making mistakes, which is something that kept her safe. And like many trauma survivors, she chased conditional love.
Sounds like me.
But in her present, regarding the Jill's email thing, is there are examples of just normal life challenges, examples of manageable difficulties. Like the Jill email is a pain in the ass at best, if that. Kate was not in danger, and there are normal social and relationship
Sorry about that
orders.
word.
But the overlap between these two things is that Kate reacts in the present just as she did in childhood. That's her stuck place. And what that means is that she has the same core beliefs. She still believes that she's bad. She still has the same attachment issues where she gets into codependency and compliance. Her behaviors are the same, where she has those childhood survival strategies of perfection. And what all that means is that Kate spends a lot of her emotional energy avoiding being shamed at all costs.
I can relate to that. I definitely can relate to that. Avoiding being shamed at all costs. If I have to be shamed, I would rather just literally withdraw from everybody. I hate it. I hate the feeling of being shamed. And I can't stand when people say, shame on you, or you should be ashamed of yourself. No, I'm not going to be ashamed of myself, and there's no shame on me. And that's why I fight that so hard when people say that garbage to me. Because I had people in my life growing up saying, oh, you should be ashamed of yourself, or he should be ashamed of his self. Why should people walk around being ashamed of themselves? That's ridiculous. How about you should be so proud of yourself? Maybe if we praised people more and noticed the good in them, they would act in those good ways instead of acting out in the bad ways we tend to draw attention to. Just saying. Especially children, for instance.
That's the charge from childhood that runs her present. And this is why it's important, the practice of separating between the past and the present, to get clear. Here's another way to look at it. Here's a bar graph. And let's just say the bar graph represents the Jill situation. Kate places all the upset, 100% of it, on the emotional charge of Jill's email. Kate thinks it's all about the present. She might be feeling that Jill is furious and that she's bad. But actually, most of the charge is from Kate's childhood, and it belongs there. Same bar graph, Jill situation, 80% of it is actually the emotional charge from childhood abuse. And the rest is 20% of just manageable stuff. If Kate was in therapy, she might basically come to the conclusion that this trigger is about my mother freaking out on me all the time. It's not about Jill. She's just my boss and she can get annoying. That's the practice of separating between the past and the present, which makes our present so much more clear and enjoyable.
Well, that's interesting. Interesting way of looking at it. Yeah, I hear you, Martha. I think you mean a loner as in this type of loner, though. You wrote the loner like you're loaning money to people. I think you mean staying by yourself, loner. But I get what you're saying. And honestly, it's a lot more comfortable to be a loner sometimes. That's where I go into sometimes. Yeah, the 80-20 rule sounds pretty interesting. Like I said, I haven't seen any of this yet. And if it seems like I'm a little touchy right now, this information kind of hits home for me. It really does. It doesn't mean I'm going to change what I do as far as like pulling away when people irritate me, because I still will. I've just learned to walk away and stay out of places that trigger me. And I think that's every bit of my right to do that as anybody else's, and my responsibility as much as anyone else's. If something's bothering you, why purposely put yourself somewhere where you know you're going to be triggered and upset? That makes no sense. You got to like yourself more than that. Okay, next.
So that 20%, that represents what we call the present piece. And for Kate, what that means is, as the boss, Jill is actually somebody who is slightly disorganized and rushes. But Kate doesn't tend to see that. She is nice, but she can get cranky. Kate also tends to not see that.
Of course, they're going to throw an advertisement in there. Hold on. I don't want to get my video knocked out because of an advertisement. Skip.
Most importantly, maybe Jill gets triggered too. We tend to think it's only us. What all of the present piece means is that it's more manageable, non-threatening, and annoying quirks. But, and a big but here, for Kate, often being triggered is not a choice. So let's not get hard on ourselves when we do get triggered, but do commit to the fact that we can reclaim the present. So, understanding our triggers is a tricky business. Here are some reflective tips that you can ask when you notice that you're triggered.
Hey, Cuddlefish.
One is, does this present situation remind me of something from growing up?
And for me, most present situations, I would have to say yes, yes, and yes.
Another is, does the person I'm triggered by, name this case Jill, remind me of mom, dad, my siblings, or caretakers?
Yep, usually of my mother. Usually. Or sometimes it'll remind me of a former ex-narcissistic mentor.
We can also ask, what do I do when I'm upset, and why do I do it?
What do I do when I'm upset, and why do I do it? Usually I start the right fighting thing. I try to prove myself. I try to argue my point. Why do I do it? Because for some reason I want so badly for people to agree with me, or just to leave me alone, if not agree with me. And I've learned now that they don't have to agree with me. I don't care. I'm just going to leave if they don't agree, if it makes me uncomfortable.
Does it have a history or emotional function? For Kate, the compulsive checking for a return email that's not new for her. That's something she did in childhood to see if she was okay. So,
okay, history or emotional function. I have always felt like I had to defend myself constantly. And being on YouTube is no exception to that. Everything I've done, everything I've said, I have felt like I had to defend myself. And I had to fight to prove that I'm not this bad person that some people wanted to paint me as. Holy RD, you're funny.
oh, remember the how-to from the beginning of this video? Let's plug those things in for Kate. The first piece was to know what your triggers are. Well, we know that Kate's triggers involve judgment, real or imagined, blame, real or imagined, and other people's negative moods. Those are some examples. Number two, know where they come from in childhood. Well, we know in this hypothetical that Kate had a critical, abusive mother, she had a dismissive father, and she had moody parents. And those are the emotional charges from childhood that she's been able to figure out in therapy. Number three, separating the past from the present. That's that 80%. And when we think about the emotional charge from childhood, which for Kate means being abused and shamed as a child, and she had to be perfect to survive emotionally. And that 20%, which belongs on the present, is she might come to the realization that Jill is just my boss. I'm not in trouble. I got this.
Right. And my realization is these people that don't believe me, it doesn't matter if they believe me. I know who I am. I know what I stand for. I know why I do what I do. This is my channel. I'm going to do what I want. This is my life. I get to live it the way I want. And I'm fine. The person not agreeing with me or believing me does not make me less of who I am. And I've said this many times. Whether you like me or you don't, or you agree with what I'm doing or you don't, as soon as I click the X, everything's gone. I'm back in the real world. I am tutoring, or I am running out the door to pick up my husband from work, or I'm going to the store. That's reality. So YouTube to me is not my full reality. Yes, everybody on here is real, but whether I please people on here or not, or whether some person gets upset with my viewpoint or not, is not going to shape every part of my day. And it shouldn't. If you're a creator on here and the way people are reacting to you is shaping your day, then you need to take a break from YouTube. Seriously. It should not be all that serious.
So, some of you might be asking, what would have been a healthy response to Jill in the initial email exchange? Well, if Kate wasn't so triggered or she was working on her triggers, a very simple and basic way to respond to Jill is, "Hi, Jill. Here it is. Thanks, Kate."
Yep.
That response is diplomatic, professional. Kate has nothing to prove to Jill, and Kate is grounded in the truth.
Yeah, it's easier said than done sometimes, really. When it comes to YouTube or it comes to social media, if you're dealing with something that is triggering to you or someone that is triggering to you, it's a lot more in depth than just being able to say, yeah, I did. So whatever, thanks, and your name. It's a lot more complicated than that, because some people are not able to just settle with when you just are short and sweet. They'll say, well, what do you mean by that? Why aren't you talking more? What's the matter with you? Are you upset about something? You don't look like you feel good, and people dig. And it's harder online because I think there's more left unsaid on an internet screen than if you knew the person in person, face to face, and you knew their moods, and you knew, well, they're just, regrouping, like One Love said. But online, it's like people just kind of want to dig and they want to keep on. Yeah, you can't even do that. I'll get back to you on that with some people. Some people will not settle for that online. They won't. I'll get back to you on that. No, I need to know now. What do you mean you'll get back to me? Why? You have something to hide, type of thing, They dig. They dig online. It's so hard. And that's triggering to people, because when people won't take no for an answer and they're constantly trying to nitpick and get at you, it's upsetting, and it throws you into a place where you really do feel like you want to escape, literally. And that's when you do escape. That's when you say, okay, I've had enough of this. Shut down the internet, walk away. That's how it has to be sometimes.
So, here are some takeaways. You've been seeing this little cloud throughout the video and represent your childhood triggers, but honor your survival strategies and triggers. They kept us safer, but no longer serve us or work. If you really related to Kate and her situation, there are many trauma survivors who grew up exactly like Kate and react in similar ways.
Yep.
The childhood trauma stuff is predictable. In the present, very important here, the present is always better than being powerless like we were in the past. But the present can be incredibly hard. The Kate situation thing is a really mild example, but sometimes the present can mean like a divorce. And while YouTube is a great place for education, always explore finding a good trained trauma therapist if possible. Just don't have it stop at YouTube. Well, thanks, guys. I hope the video was helpful to you. If you haven't done so already, please subscribe. When you hit the notification bell, you'll get notice of my other videos. This is going to be the first video in a series of videos on triggering. And I hope it was helpful, and also that there's going to be more info and answers in the description of this video. Take care and thanks.
Okay. So that's the end of that video. Let's stop the screen. Okay. Let me read some of your comments here. Well, in Ireland, you don't hear the word either because most of them are out drinking. It's how they cope. I know that because I had a friend years ago that was in Ireland, and this isn't a stereotype, but drinking and getting drunk is very popular in Ireland. Yep, you got to have a thick skin. And people say, oh, well, you don't really have to. Yeah, you do. These days, yes, you do have to have a thick skin to be on here. And anybody that tells you otherwise, I don't know what kind of channel they got. But yeah, you're dealing with sometimes 20 different personalities in one place, and not all of them like you or are your friend. So you most certainly do have to have a thick skin. And frankly, I really don't have a thick skin. I like to think I do, but I have a skin that's just so thick, and then it gets to the point where it's like, okay, ouch. Now you're digging at me and it's hurting and you're poking me, and I'm starting to feel it through my thick skin, which isn't all that thick. Now it's time to go because now you're hurting me, and now I don't like that feeling, so I'm out. And then you'll see me just pull away. That's how I do. Yeah, and YouTube, it was hard years ago when I first came on, but not like it is now because they didn't have the camera thing. You couldn't get to know somebody in a more personal way. You just had uploads of videos, and then people could comment on them. But honestly, I don't even think the comment section ran the same way as it does now, if I recall. Because you couldn't, like, you didn't live stream, so you didn't have the comments from the chat, first of all. And just people just weren't as vicious, I don't think. There were like a few far in between, you know, but not like where, oh, well, I'm on an internet screen. I can say what I want. It doesn't matter what your feelings are. Who cares, you know? Yes, exactly, Melissa. Except it's not just about evaluating it. It's about knowing when to leave, you know? Like the Kenny Rogers song, you got to know when to hold them, know when to fold them, know when to walk away, know when to run. There's something to that song. You need to know when to walk away and not sit there and argue with people. And then some people you need to run from, like totally get out of Dodge, away from them. And I believe that wholeheartedly. What video response option that used to be? Yeah, exactly. Well, Lee, you get on screen too. It's not like you've never been on the screen. You're pretty thick-skinned. I'm really not thick-skinned. Not like a lot of people are. Like, I'm not perplexed. I can't get up there and just say, well, blank you, and I don't really care. And she literally really probably doesn't. I'm not like that. I do care. I get ticked off. People irritate me sometimes. I'm be perfectly honest with you. I like myself a lot, but other people irritate and annoy the heck out of me. Yeah, know when to run. And when, like I said, when those pokers start, when I can start feeling them through my supposed thick skin, that's when I'm out. That's when I'm back tutoring again, or taking a walk, or exercising, or working out, or on my face before God, crying out and praying. Whatever. I'm not sticking around for any more abuse. I'm not going to constantly be poked, you know? You could attach your video to the video you wanted to respond to. You can't do that anymore? Though I'm not really sure what you mean. Attach your video to the video you want to respond to. Yeah, Martha, I hear you. Anyway, I thought that triggering thing was kind of interesting. And I do believe that a lot of people get triggered, and I know what my triggers are. So if I go and purposely put myself in a place, in a situation where I'm triggered, and I get triggered, phooey on me, because I knew better. For me, personally, I don't accidentally stumble upon triggers. Like, I don't, oh, oops, I didn't realize that's what was going on. No, I know. And then I just walk in there purposely and put myself in the line of fire. And then, ouch, I got hit with a dart in the booty, you know? It's my fault. If I go somewhere that is upsetting to me and I get hurt, well, phooey on me. I knew better and I did it anyway. Well, you live and learn, you know? You don't jump and answer phone calls or texts. Good. Yeah. I mean, unless it's an emergency, somebody's dying or somebody got hurt and they need prayer, then oh yeah, definitely I will. But no, I'm not going to drop everything to run for you unless you really need me. Oh, I was very anxious as a young person. My anxiety now is way different than my anxiety as a kid. My anxiety from a child was because I was an anxious person within. My anxiety now is because of other people. Because I'm around other people that trigger me. And YouTube is one of the biggest culprits of this, which is why I'm not on every single night like I used to be. I just couldn't deal with it anymore. It was too much. So I come on when I have something to say or something I want to share. No, I honestly don't. That sounds good, though. What happened to it, One Love? Did YouTube get rid of it? Oh, I don't like being asked, why haven't you answered my text? Because that's like cornering somebody. I don't appreciate that either, Martha, because it's kind of rude. It's like an accusation. So you should be triggered by that because nobody should handle things like that with you. Why aren't you answering my text? Now, I do that to Matthew sometimes, but he's my husband. That's different. But somebody like a random friend online or whatever. Oh, that stinks, One Love. I guess I don't remember. I'm sure you're right that it existed. I just don't remember it. Sorry. But yeah, I used to have people that would text me and say, "Hello, why aren't you answering me?" You know, that's just rude and accusatory. It's as if you're purposely not answering them. Maybe you're busy. Maybe you're doing something. By the way, that's usually a borderline type thing. They're the ones that will blow up your phone wondering why you're not answering their call. Not saying they're the only ones, but that's a very common borderline trait. I remember my foster brother dating a girl who had borderline personality disorder. I mean, she was diagnosed with it. And she would literally blow up his phone. If he did not answer the second she wrote him, "Why are you not talking to me? Are you mad at me? Did I do something wrong? Did I say something? Why aren't you picking up your phone? Please answer your phone. I'm getting scared." Oh my God. We couldn't even go out on a family gathering without this woman, girl, whatever, blowing up his phone with these constant accusations about, you know, you don't care about me anymore. You don't love me because you didn't answer my phone call. And, you know, we were just busy. He wasn't purposely ignoring her, although at one point he finally did purposely ignore her. Yeah. Uh-huh. You emailed me? You never emailed me. What email did you send me? See, now I'm going to get triggered and go and find your email. See if you really did email me. Now I'm curious because I've never gotten an email from you, I don't think. I like getting emails because I can sit and, kind of read them slow and decide if I want to respond. You didn't send me any email. I don't see an email. What email did you send me? Nope. It said you loved my comment. There was no email sent. So no, I didn't get your email. Oh. No, I'm not caught off guard cornered though. I'm talking about when people catch me off guard. And if it's somebody that, constantly does it, yeah, it'll get under my skin and get on my nerves. I'm a literalist. Sorry. I thought you were serious that you really sent me an email. Keep in mind, I don't always know when someone's joking, especially on the internet, because I can't see your face. I can't hear your voice intonation. I can't see body language. So, yeah. You missed the old days before phones were in the house? I don't miss that. I like having cell phones. Doesn't bother me any. I like having one. It's kind of nice having a phone with me at all times. And if I don't want to talk on the phone, I'll just leave my phone behind. And somebody says, why didn't you answer my call? I didn't have my phone with me. I don't carry it everywhere all the time. I do set it down and walk away. I don't wear it. Some people do. I don't. I don't wear my phone. Sorry. Sometimes it's charging, especially during the day, because technically someone told me not to charge the phone at night, especially like in the room next to you, because it can explode. No, full-on drama. That's not how it worked. She was a borderline, as I said, diagnosed borderline. And she was annoying as the day is long. It's not his job to help her feel secure. People feel secure within themselves. Another person's job is not to make you feel secure unless they are your mommy. A grown adult does not have the job of bringing security to you. I'm sorry. I'm the type of person that believes people need to get stuff from within, not be looking externally for it. I don't believe you should marry for security from another person. I don't believe you should marry somebody to fulfill you. None of that. Nobody's going to convince me otherwise. Because that other person is not always going to be able to be your beck and call, be at your beck and call, and be your everything. And you're not always going to have somebody with you to do those things. So get it for yourself. Get it inside yourself. Get it from God. What are you going to do if you see the other person as your everything and they die one day? Then you have nothing if they're your everything. You just lost everything. You need to have a substance to yourself. I will never put anybody on that level of being my security. That's just asking for a lot of hurt. Remember that line, are you writing a book? Leave that chapter out. I don't think I've ever heard that, but I like it. Not true. You didn't know my foster brother. He was a very good friend and a very good boyfriend. She was just extremely annoying and could not respect the fact that we were out as a family, doing a family thing without her because she was not family. So she had to constantly interject into our family time at the zoo and drive everybody nuts every 5 seconds. That's a borderline. An untreated borderline, not a borderline, but an untreated borderline. Yeah, there you go. I like what Lee said. People expect an immediate response today. Well, I like long hot baths and very long showers, and I sleep long hours. I can relate to that, although not all of it, but yeah. And I take naps during the day. So if you call and I'm napping, my phone is not going to be ringing in my ear. I will be listening to my Honest Guys meditation, and I will be zoned out, taking my nap. So you will not get a hold of me if I'm napping. Sorry. I will call you back when I wake up, because you will smartly leave me a message when you call my voicemail. If you don't leave me a message, you cannot be upset and expect me to know that you called me and that you want me to call you back. Some things are just logic to me. If you call me and I don't answer and you don't leave me a message, I'm not going to know you called. I can't read minds. I can't read kinesthetically tell that you've called me if I'm sleeping. It's not going to happen. Oh, that wouldn't happen with me, Martha. I don't force myself to go places to please other people. My foster brother lie? No. He was brought up very strictly Christian. He does not lie. He just simply was having a family day, and this girl could not handle that. She never could handle that. There was another person that was a friend of somebody in my family that had to make everything about her. When somebody was getting married one day and the lady was trying to get ready for her wedding, this girl comes up and says, I'm upset. What if I trip up the stairs and I hurt myself when I go up to the altar to stand there with you? And everybody's just looking at her like, this is not about you. Nobody gives a rip if you trip up the stairs. Then you just stand up and brush yourself off and stand next to her. But everything was always about her. She could not handle the fact that somebody else was getting married and all eyes were not on her and all attention was not on her. So she had to have a meltdown in the middle of getting ready for this wedding. I mean, it's just ridiculous. Not very often, hence they're mad quite often and rude. Yeah, I would not have friends like that. Sorry. If it meant I had no friends, I would not have friends like that. Nobody micromanages my life. Nobody's controlling me. Nobody's guilting me. Nobody's shaming me into doing what they want me to do. Yeah, you got to say no. No, I'm quite awake. I took a nap today. An hour. No, 30 minutes. Not an hour. 30 minutes. A Karen. We all know a Karen. A Karen? I don't know who a Karen is. What do you mean, Melissa? Oh, okay. Full on drama. Well, whoever your sister's with, is your sister reacting that way because she's feeling insecure because they didn't make her feel secure? Or is she just a BPD that's untreated, that's daffy as the day is long and drives everybody bonkers with her guilt trips, her digs, her passive aggressiveness, her constant attention seeking, her flipping things around and retelling stories the way she wants them to sound? You know, there you go. If you have a sister that's like that, then you don't even need to ask me about, oh, is he making her feel insecure? You're living it. Okay. I see, Martha. They're clients then? that's a little different story. Sometimes you have to deal with people and there's no getting away from it. That's when I shut down. That's when I get very quiet and I'm around people, but I ain't saying anything. I'm not going to participate. I'm not going to respond. I'm not going to give you any part of myself at that point. That's how that's going to happen. If I got to be around you and you make me uncomfortable, I'm going to be quiet around you. Because I'm not going to say something I regret or something you can use against me. You're funny, full on drama. I try to take naps when I can. I can't always take them, but today I got one. And then sometimes I'll just take a 10, 15-minute nap if I can't get a 30-minute nap in. But I like to stay as alert as I can when Matthew gets home from work, which lately he's working at night, so. Oh, okay. Longtime friends. I gotcha. That's different. I mean, if they're your friend, you just have different rules with friends, you know? People that you've known for years and stuff, you just kind of get each other. But yeah, sometimes you can get on each other's nerves. I get how that is too. I don't know. Most of my friends, as I've said before, they're busy. They have their own lives. They don't bother with me. I really don't bother with them. And I'm fine with it. I don't care. Oh, women can act insecure and demand quick responses and be needy without having BPD. True. True. I was talking about a specific person, though, that was diagnosed as having BPD. But I know what you're saying. I think women act insecure because they're taught to be honest. I mean, I suppose there's some that are just born that way where they're just, you know, touchy about things or whatever. No, he said he's walking home. I said, "Are you sure?" He said, "Yeah." So, okay. I told him don't walk near the woods because it scares him and triggers him. Walk near the houses where there's lights on. Yeah, I can't tell you what to do about that, Martha. I don't know the kind of relationship you have with them or whatever, but if you're uncomfortable, then you need to put some space there sometimes and regroup. Oh, okay. She's all kind of crazy. Yeah, I can't deal with it. It's different if it's a client. You can sit there, counsel them for 45 minutes, send them home. But having to deal with them day in and day out, manipulating your life, no. No, thank you. Not going to be micromanaged, not going to be manipulated, guilted, shamed. No. Nope, nope, nope. I would rather be alone. Because at least myself, I don't get on my nerves. Other people get on my nerves. So, better to be alone with yourself, who you like, than having to deal with other people and their craziness, if they're like that. Know what I mean? My daughter trimmed my hair, by the way. Although I do need to color it again because it's getting kind of gray. But yeah, she trimmed it so it's kind of more even, I guess. I don't know. Whatever. That's good, Martha. But now the yawning's starting because it's 9:30. Now it's time to yawn. Probably going to get off of here pretty shortly. That's good, Martha. You should like yourself. You know, that's interesting that you said that, Philandrum. I've always thought the same thing, that you really don't look like a Martha. And that's not an insult. You just don't, your facial features don't fit the description of a Martha. You look more like maybe a Sherry or a Charlene or something like that. Something more like feminine, I guess. Like girly girl or something. Really, Melissa? You ain't kidding. Kind of funny, Melissa. You look a lot like my husband's sister. Your picture. I don't know what you look like fully, because you just have that one profile picture, but oh, Bible names, yeah. Ah, I remind you of that sister. I'd like to talk to her sometime. If somebody's like me, I like to know them. It's cool to meet your twin, you know. The only sister I have, well, I have two sisters. I have a half sister and a stepsister. And both of them are gorgeous. And what's weird is both of them look kind of like each other. Your sister's Mary. You don't like the story in the Bible. Yeah, I know. I understand. You changed your name at Disneyland? What, when you went to Disneyland? Oh, you wore a name tag. Okay. Yep. You have a twin out there. That's true. I know I do. I've seen my twin. Though I don't know what she looks like now. I saw a picture of her that looked identical to me as a kid, except she had blonde hair. That was the only difference. No, I don't care if you say she's pretty. Nothing wrong with saying that. Long as you don't start saying hot and other words like that in here. I don't like that. I don't like words that objectify people. Wow, you're looking good for 58, woman. I hope I look that good at 58. Sheesh, happy birthday. Hi, Autumn Winter. Trippy. Ooh, excuse me. Ooh. No, I'm probably just going to yawn because you mentioned what time it was. Starting to get late, Dee Dee. Why aren't you tired? You're wide awake. Now I'm going to start yawning just because you said that. Hi, Red Ruby. Yeah, maybe I'll stay on a little longer, just till Matthew gets home. Then I gotta get off of here because it's his time. Yep. Yeah, I won't fight anybody. Not anymore. I'm not getting into those kind of tangles anymore with anybody. If they upset me, I'm just leaving. Just poof, disappearing. doppelganger thing is creepy. Yeah, it can be. Sometimes. I like watching like celebrity doppelgangers. Updating my no, that's not right. I'm updating my Facebook. Give me a second here. That's weird. Okay. Temperature? I don't know. Hold on. Oh, tell you how I got rid of the thing on my thigh? Well, antibiotics, turmeric mixed with. Hang on. Is that you? You live so. All right. I didn't fall asleep. No. I took coconut oil, turmeric powder, or turmeric, however you say it, aloe oil, mixed it together in a bowl, put 5 drops of tea tree oil in it, slapped it on a piece of toilet paper, put it on my thigh a few times a day today, and by tonight, that sucker drained the heck out of itself. It's pretty much gone. That's only the 3rd day. I'm so happy. I don't know if it's the antibiotic or if it's the stuff I put on it or what it is, but it's leaving, and that's all I care about. The hot compresses are what I started with, but once that thing breaks open, you can't put that hot compress on anymore. It was nasty, and it was very painful. It's like having an open wound exposed to the air and anything that bumps into it. It's not fun. Hey, Kim. Kim, your one daughter looks exactly like you. You know that? She's like your doppelganger. Okay. Well, guys, my hubby's home, so I need to get off of here and go spend some time with him. But it was great to see everybody. God bless you. I will see you on the next live. Thanks for hanging with me. The recipe's a combination of stuff that was all over YouTube. That's where I found it. Full on drama. What? I don't? Oh. I thought that was our thing. When you get home, I get off. Huh? Not tonight. Okay. All right, I guess I'm not going yet. I'm still here. Yeah, it didn't pop, Martha. It just I started feeling something trickling down my leg and it was blood because it's bloody. And I was so happy. I was like, "Yes, it's draining itself. I don't have to have it cut open." I was so happy. I don't want a doctor doing it. I watched Dr. Pimple Popper. Yes, I did. And that's how I learned how to pop it myself. After it was already open. I didn't mess with it till then. But after it already started draining, heck yeah, I was getting the core out of that sucker. And I did. Yep. I think there's more in it though. So I gotta check it out in a little while. But I feel so much better. Oh my gosh. It was bad. I'm not kidding. It wasn't enjoyable. It started as a boil, turned into an abscess. It was nasty looking. Welcome home, honey. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, you can have some. Plenty there. This is what it looks like, guys. That's the wound on my leg. Well, it was. It doesn't look that bad anymore. It's all kind of closing up now. Martha says, hey, Matthew. Or Morgan said, hey, Matthew. Full on drama. You would jump on that statement. Come on, really? I'm not saying it again. Makes you want to vomit? Yeah, it wasn't pretty. Oh, they're awful painful, Kim. Oh my gosh. It felt like being stung by a bee about 25 times over and over and over again. Pinch, 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 poke, poke, bite, bite, bite. It was absolutely awful. And there's like no relief from it whatsoever.
Okay.
Kim says hi, Matt. He said hi.
Here, what do you want to do with this?
I forgot to say trigger warning. Oh, well. Trigger warning.
Here.
Thank you. You made the mistake of trying to pop it right away. Yeah, don't do that. It'll go into like your bloodstream and stuff. Yeah, don't do that. Bad plan. They tell you not to pop it. They tell you not to pop it at all. But at that point, I'm sorry. I was getting enough of that gook out of there to be done with this stupid thing. I'll take my chances. You're going to faint. Oh, it's not that bad. My gosh. That you have to faint over it. But yeah, now I got PTSD about my leg. I'm gonna be careful whatever I put on my leg or near my leg. I don't ever want to go through that nightmare again. Yeah, that's what the video is about, triggering. Yep. That's true. Thing is, it changed a lot, like, over the few days that I had it. That was the worst it got that I just showed you. It didn't start out like that. It started out just like a little tiny dot. And that's why I took pictures, because I wanted to remember in case I ever got another one that, oh, this is what it looked like, you know. What? Do what? What is it? Potatoes? Dang, have some potatoes, hon. I thought you would have brought stuff home. Oh.
I didn't close for us.
Mm.
Can you give me a fork or something?
You didn't grab yourself a fork?
I thought I did.
Yeah, I figured you'd like to come home and have a nice vacuumed floor. Hey, Dana. Dana Banana. Everybody wants to know where your videos are, Dana Banana. I saw some of your videos on there, though. She'll make more. She will keep us entertained. No worries. So you can see here, maybe you can't. You can't really see it. Right here is what it started out like. It was just like a little dot with some poofy skin around it. And then as time went on, it got worse and worse. But thankfully, only 3 days and I'm done with it. Yay. Oh, I like her cats, though. Aw. Thanks, Martha. You're online doing cat video full in. Full on kidding. You like when Dana gets riled up. Whatever works for you, I guess. Those are the best potatoes. They probably need salt or something in them, though. I put lemon juice in mine because I can't eat a lot of salt.
I'm sorry about it.
Salt?
No, can you grab mine and
Tenderizer.
So you can.
Flavor.
Sorry to keep bothering you while you're live.
I'm so happy I could use my leg in the So glad it doesn't hurt anymore. Glad it's not puffed out like it was. It's still kind of not like it was. Starting to feel like my leg.
Yeah,
We got melon for dessert.
I like melon dessert.
Honeydew, and it's super sweet and delicious. Honeydew, you want some honeydew? Mm. Yeah, it needed some flavoring. I didn't put any in when I cooked it. I just put it in afterwards. Delicious, isn't it? Mm-hmm. Since you're tender, it's a good thing you don't have babies. Me? My babies are grown up. Hi, Jeff Giordano. Oh, you mean it's a good thing Full On Drama doesn't have babies? I think it's a guy. I don't know if Full On Drama is a lady or a man or who they are. Unless they're Flynn, then they're a woman. Mm-hmm. Dana is feisty.
Is she though? Is she really?
Matthew doesn't think Dana's feisty. Jeez. It's so tender, it's just falling apart.
Oh.
I know, I was so excited when it was a good fresh melon. And I tasted it. I'm like, oh, that's going in the fridge for later. Oh, okay, Red Ruby. I wasn't sure. I thought you might have been talking to Full On Drama, but I wasn't sure. I figured you knew I had children. I was like, she can't be talking to me. I just chimed in case you were. What, honey? It's your last piece? Yeah, you gotta eat your potatoes.
They're really good though.
They're really good in the Instant Pot. I filmed it. I know, Dana. Flynn is just a person. One of the people that come on YouTube. I didn't know if this was one of their names. I could care less anymore. I don't know the person anyway. Mm-hmm. Very yummy. I'm saving the juice for smoothies.
That's a good idea.
No, the boil doesn't look yummy. The honeydew melon. You're silly, Full On Drama. Is that the rest of the potatoes?
Mm-mm. I'll see a little bit on that.
Okay. Uh-oh, hairball kitty. Kitty cat got a hairball. You need some butter, buddy? I don't know if I have any more butter left.
There should be.
Well, I just used it in potatoes. Poor baby. Yeah, I found some butter. Hang on, Bobo. I'll get you some butter to get that hairball out. Here, buddy. Eat that butter. That'll loosen all that hair out of your throat. Poor kitty. Yeah, it was honeydew. Oh, I had a boil on my leg, Dana. For the last 3-4 days, I've been dealing with it and turned into an abscess, and it was very painful, and it finally drained today, so I'm so happy. I know, full on drama. I didn't know Morgan had an issue with you, Dana. Oh, good God, you left me a lot of potatoes. I'm not going to eat all those. That's too many. Put some in the bowl for tomorrow. But yeah, they turned out really creamy. What's up, Mishma? You want potatoes? You want potatoes, Misha? Tomorrow I get to work out again. My boo will probably be killed by tomorrow. Okay. Aw. Thank you for the $1.99 full on drama. That's nice of you. Oh my God. Boils and hairballs. My tummy can't take all of this. That's funny. That's funny, funny, funny. Oh, the cats are going to growl at each other again. You love when people misunderstand things in chat. Oh, listen. Showdown at the Colbert Corral here. You going out, Bo? I don't blame you. Like, I'm not going to be bothering with your growling stuff, Mimi. He's out. Mimi's over there snorting and growling at Bobo. Aren't you, Meech? He's gone. I don't know why you think you need to leave now. The problem is solved. He went out for his evening walk to get away from the ornery woman. Kind of like a man does, you know. What is going on here? What's a yeet? What's yeet? Y-E-E-T. I don't know what a yeet is. Do I need to know what a yeet is? Oh, a boil is a bunch of bacteria that gathers under the skin and grows and grows and grows, and it sits on all your nerves, so it hurts really flippin' bad. And then eventually, if it doesn't drain on its own, they have to slice it open and drain all the pus and stuff out of it. Sorry, full on drama. That's what it is. And if it becomes abscessed, then it gets really nasty and black colored, and it's bloody and pussy and nasty. So yeah,
I'm still eating, but thanks.
sorry. I was just answering a question. You said I didn't have to get offline. My stomach's really hurt. I'm not taking another one of those antibiotics, and I'm going to call the doctor tomorrow. It didn't burn all day, and now it's burning like crazy. I do not do well with antibiotics. I'm going to tell them it's pretty much drained. They'll probably ask me to come in so they can look at it. I'm like way behind in chat here. I don't think I can do that because of where it's located, full on drama. What do I have now? What do you mean, what do I have now? As far as what? Which one are you on, Dana? They got me on clindamycin, but it's burning my stomach just like the doxycycline did. Yeah, what's going on, Dana Banana? What's happening? Well, thank you, full on drama. I appreciate your vote in favor of my non-toxic chat environment. I will be right back, y'all. Just thought of something. By the way, just for future reference, let's never buy these Band-Aids again.
Why?
They are awful. They stick way too good. They hurt like heck to try to pull off.
Yeah, try telling me that, love.
But there is a trick to them. Get them wet first,
Yeah?
and then they peel right off when you go to pull them.
That's gross.
Sorry. It is what it is, dude.
Well, it can be what it is in your head and not in my ears.
Sorry.
I want to love you, honey, but you're making it hard.
You want to love me, but
Yeah.
we're funny, man. I'm gonna try to figure out how I I don't think this is gonna work though.
Well,
My idea. No, I don't think it will. It's too up close to other things. I'm here. I was going to try to see if I could show it to you, but it's just too close to other things that are inappropriate to be showing on camera. Well, you haven't given me a reason to have to block you, so that's why I haven't blocked you. I don't like blocking people. I'd rather just delete a comment if I need to. Listen, full on drama. I met all three of my husbands from dating services, so it's not that I have trouble or have problems with anybody doing any kind of online dating. It's just when people are making people feel uncomfortable in the chat, that's what I have an issue with, if that makes sense. Man, I've totally lost Denny's comments. Yeah, exactly, Red Ruby. It's too much trouble trying to unblock them once I block them. That's for sure. Someone stalking you is in the chat? Oh, Sleuth? Oh, Sleuth is stalking you now. Okay. You're running out of people to roast. Yeah. I imagine that could happen after a while on here. Ugh. Need to write down my honeydew melon on Noom here before I forget. I'm getting kind of tired though, y'all. I'm probably going to get going shortly. I do have an awful time trying to unblock people. For real. Alright, guys. I'm going to skedoodle off of here. I'm getting sleepy-ish. So, no, you're fine, full on drama. I'm going to talk to my hubby for a little while and go and take care of my boo-boo. So make sure it's completely healed up and I can get my exercises going up again. So take it easy, everybody. I love you. God bless you. We'll see you next time. Thanks for coming in. Don't forget, hit like, subscribe, share it, pass it on, do whatever you do with my videos.